You guys are watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Today's video, DK Metcalf be traded? And if so, where does he go? Some destinations. First, the background info. ESPN says teams think Metcalf could be had at the right price in a trade. Other teams have called Seattle about Metcalf, but Seattle's telling them, and Metcalf, we're not trading him, sticking around, he's not on the block, although they said similar things about Russell Wilson. And this year's chaos in the trade market can kind of never say never in the end. Now, Metcalf is a premier receiver. He is a gifted athlete. He does a lot of great things for you on the football field. He's so dynamic as a vertical threat, as a big body, awesome, just machine of a football player. As long as there aren't three cones out there on the field, he's so good. You should get that joke, I hope. Which is why Seattle would be dumb to trade him away. They'd be stupid if they were to ship out DK Metcalf, because that leaves them Tyler Lockett and D. Eskridge as the number 1 and number 2. That pick they get would go immediately towards a new receiver. Now, I want to make this point clear too. I get that they are rebuilding, but Metcalf is so young, he fits their timeline for a rebuild. So you shouldn't give him away unless you are so shook by the wide receiver trade market and the contract market that you go, we got to do it. In the end, the Davante Adams and Tyreek Hill trade value, if you use the updated trade value chart, is off by about a pick, or a point. So a late 7th rounder. Those two guys in the end went for almost identical value. I don't think DK is the same player as Hill and Adams, but he is younger. So I think the trade value would end up being pretty similar for those guys. So in a minute, I've got 8 destinations and trade packages for each team to acquire DK Metcalf. Before we break that down, though, will Seattle trade away DK Metcalf? Y for yes, N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if an ad break comes, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in Y for yes or N for no. Number 8, the Detroit Lions. They are not contenders right now. However, they got draft picks, and they can get involved in a war for a top receiver if they want to. Receiver, long-term, a number 1 guy, is still a major need for this team, and Metcalf would fit their timeline as well. I like DJ Chark. He's not a 1. Reynolds is probably more of a receiver 3 or 4. I love the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a slot, though. DK and Amon-Ra long-term, that is fast. Here's my trade package. Seattle gets the 32nd overall pick. You're not getting number 2. Come on. A 34th pick, the 34th, a 2nd rounder this year, and a 5th round pick. So, 2 top 35 picks. It's a lot. It's not that different than what the Jets were offering to get Tyreek Hill, and it's very similar to the value that went for Adams and Hill. It's a 1st and a 2nd, but it's a late 1st and an early 2nd rounder. So what I want you guys to do right now is put your DK Metcalf trade ideas in the comments section. Let me know in the comments what package you guys can come up with. Number 7, the Commanders, as they have been linked to receivers in the draft, and you would love to get one that you know is good. The concern I have here when it comes to Washington being a fit, would they be willing and or choose to be able to, which is kind of the same thing as being willing, I guess, to pay both Metcalf and Scary Terry? Because McLaurin is due for a big-time new deal as well, and they paid Curtis Samuel. But to some extent, this team is all in on winning games right now. And you've got some receivers, so here's my trade package. Your 1st-round pick, number 12 overall, a future 5th, and Miami Brown. With McLaurin and Samuel on your roster, you don't need Brown anymore. And you get another day 3 early-ish pick value going back to Seattle. This video filmed live only on Rumble. If you want more exclusive content like this one, then follow us over there, rumble.com/NFL Daily. The Colts at number 6. They would be higher on this list if they had a first-round pick. They do not. They are light on picks, but my God, they need a wide receiver. Michael Pittman is their number one. Paris Campbell, injury-prone guy, is their slot. Ashton Dulin, Des Patman, Michael Strong. It's bad. It's bad. It's not a good grouping there in Indy. So they might take a receiver with their first pick. This one is tricky. The value is still right, using that advanced trade value chart. Future picks are worth roughly half of what they're worth right now. So it's a second, a third, and a future first. Now, maybe Seattle values that future first more, but it could be 10. It could be 25 with Matt Ryan and DK Metcalf now in Indy. 42, 73 in the future first gets you right about the same value as all the trades factored in on today's video. I want you now to predict this for me. Where will DK Metcalf play in 2022? Is it Seattle or somewhere else? Make your predictions for me in the comments section right now. I wanted to mention some other teams not on this list. The Bears, similar category as Indy, no first-round pick, and I think they want to build to the draft pretty heavily as well. The Texans need receiver help. Don't know if they do it, though. And would DK want to be in Houston? I'm not sure. The Falcons need receiver help, but they're rebuilding. The Chargers, wouldn't that be fun, but they're light on draft picks. And I threw the Patriots in there just for you, Producer Jack. Patriots for DK Metcalf. Righting or wrong, they're going to kill Harry over DK Metcalf all those years ago. The Saints at number 5 here, and this one is a little bit tricky from that standpoint because their value has changed a little bit here. The Saints have never, ever, 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 and never will view the cap as an issue. They don't care about finding a way to make all those players fit in under the salary cap. And adding DK Metcalf unquestionably would elevate the offense in a significant way. It would change what they're able to do. Because right now, Michael Thomas is awesome as your, kind of your number one, but more of an underneath player for you. He's not a dynamic threat out there. Now, the Saints have already shuffled their draft value on Monday. They have now number 19 overall. They've also got 16, but I'm going to stick with 19. It's similar value, and their second-round pick adds up to about what the Chiefs and Packers, not that different, by the way, from the Davante Adams, maybe a little bit more from that standpoint. But you're getting a number one receiver. Would they do it? Maybe the Saints got their plans, but imagine DK and Michael Thomas. That's fun, isn't it? The Chiefs at number 4. They need wide receiver help because they sent out Tyreek Hill because they didn't want to pay him. And that's my concern. They weren't going to pay Tyreek Hill the $28 to $30 million. Would they pay DK? Because DK probably wants that too, right? And that makes it tricky. Now, it's not going to be quite the exact same trade as what they got back for Tyreek Hill, but the value is similar, as strange as that might sound to say out loud once you see the trade package. But it's true. The Chiefs get Juju, or have Juju Smith-Schuster, and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling right now, which is interesting from that standpoint. And what you're going to say to me right now is, Tom, this is not the same trade value that the Chiefs got in exchange for Tyreek Hill. My response is, it actually kind of is, though, as weird as that might sound. With the 4th-round pick going back to KC and Mecole Hardman to Seattle as well. Remember, the Chiefs got a 1st, a 2nd, 2 4ths, and a 6th. As weird as that is, it actually does kind of add up to around the 30th overall pick. Would they do that? I don't think so. But remember, they got a lot for Tyreek Hill. And they're giving up a lot for DK Metcalf. Now, Chat Sports has the best draft coverage you could ask for, both on YouTube and on Rumble. So if you're watching on Rumble, make sure you guys have followed us. And this is the exact same thing if you're watching us on YouTube as well. We're free. We always will be. So follow us or subscribe on YouTube and Rumble right now. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv, rumble.com/NFL Daily. The big 3 that I really like as trade packages here for DK Metcalf. Philadelphia, now down to 2 first-round picks. But pairing DK Metcalf and Devonta Smith is an awesome idea for Philly. Yeah, you pay DK. That's fine. When Davante's due for his new deal, you'll be just fine with the salary cap, trust me. And you don't have that much provenness at wide receiver. Here's my package for you. Trade. Seattle gets 15, a third, and Eagles fans rejoice everywhere as I throw in Jalen Reagor because he's not very good. Again, it's a lot, but it is in line with the packages for Davante Adams and Tyreek Hill. The Jets, always second, it seems, in these bidding wars for receivers. They clearly want an impact wide receiver, and they were in the mix for Tyreek Hill. They came up second there. They have the picks to win the war if they want to. You've got keepers, right? Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios. You might say, that's a decent receiving core, and I agree. But they keep showing that they've got interest in adding more receiver help. Here's my offer. Number 10 to Seattle. And maybe they go 2 seconds. It's a similar package we did earlier. It's just like the Lions package at that point for DK. If I don't go 10, Seattle gets aggressive for a younger receiver. And they throw in Denzel Mims. Let's be honest. You trade for DK Metcalf, Mims ain't playing for you. And that's a fair offer. And it is, again, similar value as the other packages for Hill and Adams. What I want you guys to do right now before we get to number 1 is rank DK Metcalf among NFL wideouts. Is he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What is he? Where does DK rank among NFL wide receivers? At number 1, the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have the worst receiver room in the NFL outside of maybe the Atlanta Falcons. Now, they wanted, allegedly, to pay Davante Adams. They wanted to. But Adams wanted to be in Vegas, allegedly. Right now, this is their receiving core. I could put 5 fake names, and listen, you would have no idea. Because we've heard of, the casual fan has heard of maybe 3 or 4 of those guys. Maybe. Randall Cobb's washed, but Aaron Rodgers loves him. And Allen Lazard is not that great in the end. So my trade package looks pretty damned similar, doesn't it here, folks? A first and a second for DK Metcalf. And I'll throw in pick number 140 overall here as well, which is just at the tail end of the 4th round. Seattle will then get picks. The Packers then get to pay DK Metcalf, but it makes them better in the end.